I wake up choking on ash. The ceiling above me is not the crumbling palace of my last moments, but a pale, ordinary roof with hairline cracks spreading like spiderwebs. My lungs scream as if still filled with smoke, and for a moment, I forget I've been granted another chance. The fire, the collapse, the betrayal, they were all real. And yet, here I am. Breathing. Alive. I clutch the bedsheet and stare at my hands. They are smaller, softer, those of a teenager, not the hardened warlord I once became. My pulse races. A second life. Reincarnation. Not as the hero the bard sang of, but as the villain whose name children whispered in fear. My story is not meant to be rewritten, but maybe this time, I will write it myself. The vibration of my phone cuts through the haze. I fumble for it, heart hammering. The screen glows with the familiar cruelty of a group chat. Empire Dreamers. Elias, can't believe we finally got the invite. Partnering with Kale is a game-changer. Fire. Kale, glad you came to your senses. Together, we'll crush the competition. Mira, wait, what about Adrian? My throat tightens. My name, Adrian, stares back at me like a wound torn open. The messages scroll faster than I can breathe. Elias, Adrian's too stuck in the past. He wasn't ready. Better we move forward without him. Kale, dead weight slows you down. Ambition demands sacrifice. Mira, that's cold. He was your best friend. Elias, he'll understand. Someday. Understand. The phone slips from my fingers and thuds against the floor. The sound echoes like a blade sliding into flesh. I close my eyes, and the memories flood in. Elias and I at 10 years old, crouched on rooftops, tracing constellations with our fingers. One day we'll build an empire, he whispered, eyes gleaming. You and me, Adrian, rulers of the stars. And now, in this new life, history repeats. The friend I trusted most abandons me again, for Kale, the rival who once toppled everything. Ice-cold fury spreads through my chest. My fingertips tremble as though dipped in snowmelt, but my mind burns hotter than the flames that killed me before. In the mirror across the room, I catch my reflection, hollow eyes, clenched jaw, a face too young to carry so much hatred. Yet behind it, I see him, the villain I once was. The monster the world cursed. Perhaps they were right. Perhaps I am the villain. But this time, the villain wins. The group chat is still open on my screen, their words etched into my vision like scars burned into flesh. We're better off without him. Dead weight. I can't close it. Not yet. My thumb hovers above the screen, trembling, ice cold. It's not the betrayal itself that paralyzes me, it's the memories. I used to believe loyalty was indestructible, like the stars that never falter in the night sky. And he, Elias, was supposed to be my North Star. We were children when we made that vow. His laughter had been sharp and bright, like broken glass catching moonlight. Someday, he told me, eyes blazing with conviction, we'll build an empire. You and me. No kings, no gods, just us. I remember the heat in my chest that night, the thrill of believing someone else carried my dream in their veins too. I thought our souls were tethered. Now, the tether is ash. I press my palms against my eyes until colors explode behind my lids. But shutting out the present only makes the past louder. The competitions we entered together. The long nights poring over textbooks, schematics, business plans, whatever we could get our hands on to feed our hunger. He used to fall asleep first, his head slumped over my shoulder, and I'd keep working, telling myself that loyalty meant carrying the weight for both of us. But that was before the rival arrived, Kieran, with his smile like a serpent's tongue, offering shortcuts laced with poison. Elias bit down without hesitation. And me? I was left with the bitter taste of memory. Still, even through the haze of betrayal, I can feel the pulse of something deeper. My dream was never just his. It wasn't born on that swing set, nor in those hushed late-night study sessions. No, it started long before him, before Kieran. My father's voice echoes faintly in my skull, hoarse and broken the night his empire crumbled. Promise me, you'll rebuild what I couldn't. You'll rise where I fell. That promise has been the fire in my lungs ever since. I wanted Elias beside me, yes, but the dream was never his to give or take. It is mine. Blood-soaked, bone-deep, inevitable. The betrayal hurts because I let myself forget that truth. I let him become the center of my orbit, when all along, the stars I chased were my family's, not his. I stared down at my reflection in the black screen of my phone, the glow of the chat finally extinguished. My own eyes look back at me, hollow yet burning. He may have abandoned me. He may have chosen Kieran. But I was reborn for this. This time, I'll build my empire alone. And I will not fall. The morning air tastes like iron, sharp and metallic, as I step through the glass doors of the academy. 1,000 footsteps echo in the atrium, the sound bouncing off polished marble floors, but I only hear one voice. Elias. He's laughing, the kind of laugh that used to be reserved for me, loud and unguarded, filling every empty space between us. Now it pours freely for someone else. Kieran. They stand together at the center of a crowd, sunlight bleeding through the tall windows and crowning them in gold. Kieran has that easy charisma, a predator wearing silk. He's telling a story, gesturing with quick, sharp movements, and everyone around him is spellbound. Elias leans in close, eyes bright, nodding, drinking in every word. And me? I'm just a shadow slipping along the edge of the hall. But shadows see everything. Their words reach me in broken fragments, carrying on laughter. Not his level, holding us back. This year belongs to us. It's the same poison I read in the chat, only sweeter now, sugared for the crowd. They don't even bother hiding it. I'm meant to hear. My chest tightens, memory colliding with reality. I see us as boys, huddled over sketchbooks and plans, and then I see Elias now, his arm brushing Kieran's like they've always belonged to each other. It makes me sick. I force myself to step closer. If this life has taught me anything, it's that silence feeds betrayal. Quite the audience you've gathered, I say, my voice even, steady, though my pulse hammers like war drums. The circle turns toward me. Whispers ripple. Elias freezes for a second, just a flicker, but I catch it. Then he smiles, that familiar curve of his mouth I used to trust. Ah. You made it. Kieran doesn't even pause. His eyes flick over me like I'm an insect pinned to glass. You're late. His tone is casual, dismissive, but sharp enough to cut. I feel the sting. But instead of bleeding, I let it harden me. Better late than irrelevant, I reply. The crowd titters, half nervous, half delighted by the spark of conflict. Elias steps between us, raising his hands as though he's still the bridge, still the peacemaker. But his stance tilts toward Kieran, not me. Always toward Kieran now. Let's not turn this into a scene, Elias says lightly, but his eyes dart at me, warning. As if I'm the problem. As if I'm the villain in his carefully curated story. And maybe I am. Because for the first time, I want to be. I take a breath, straighten my shoulders, and let the weight of silence drag the moment longer than comfort allows. Then I step back, away from the circle, away from him. Don't worry, I murmur, just loud enough for them to hear. I won't be following your script anymore. Their faces blur behind me as I walk out, the whispers swelling in my wake. My fists clench, but my heart feels strangely light. This is where the distance begins. This is where I stop being his shadow. The hall is drenched in golden light, chandeliers swaying slightly with the hum of music and laughter. Crystal glasses clink like delicate weapons, and every table is dressed in silk and silver. It smells of wine and ambition. I don't belong here. At least, that's what they want me to think. Across the room, Elias is radiant. He's dressed for the stage, every gesture calculated, every smile a hook that reels the crowd closer. And right beside him, always beside him now, Kieran, draped in confidence, speaking with the ease of someone who knows everyone is already listening. Their laughter carries across the banquet, echoing louder than the orchestra. I hear my name woven into their stories, twisted and dressed in mockery. Too rigid. Never understood timing. He'll fade out on his own. The guests laugh politely, some nervously glancing toward me. I sip my drink, the bitter burn of it scalding my throat, and set the glass down with a steady hand. I could let it slide. That's what the old me would have done, stay in the shadows, wait for the moment Elias remembered his promise. But that me is buried. The host raises a glass for a toast, and the room falls into a hush. Elias steps forward, smiling with that practiced warmth, and lifts his glass high. To partnerships, he says. To new beginnings. His eyes flick toward Kieran, not me. Never me. A murmur of approval spreads, glasses lifted. My own sits untouched on the table. The weight of it presses into my palm like a stone. And then I let it fall. The crystal shatters on the marble floor, shards scattering like stars across the room. The sound cuts through the music, through the laughter, through Elias's perfect speech. Silence rushes in. Every eye turns to me. I stand slowly, my chair scraping against the floor. My voice is calm, colder than the ice water sweating in its jug beside me. Some beginnings aren't worth toasting. Elias's smile falters, just a crack, but enough. Kieran smirks like a predator smelling blood, but I don't look at him. I look only at Elias, letting the silence stretch until the air trembles. Then I turn, leaving the hall, my footsteps echoing louder than the applause that never comes. Behind me, whispers rise like smoke. I don't hear the music start again. I don't need to. Because tonight, I made it clear, I'm no longer their shadow. The academy courtyard hums with chatter, 100 voices tangled together beneath the pale afternoon sun. The showcase boards line the path, names, rankings, projects, all displayed for eager eyes. It's the place everyone wants to be seen. Which is exactly why Kieran chose it. He stands in the center, Elias at his side, a small crowd circling like moths around flame. The board behind him glows with results from the latest trials. I already know my name isn't where I wanted it, I didn't need to walk here to be reminded. But Kieran's voice is what pulls me in, low and deliberate, rising at just the right pitch to carry. A shame, really. So much potential, wasted on someone who can't adapt. A few heads turn, following the line of his smirk, straight toward me. Elias notices, but he doesn't flinch. He doesn't stop him. The crowd parts slightly, as if rehearsed, leaving me exposed at the edge of the circle. My pulse thunders. Kieran tilts his head, feigning surprise. Oh. Speak of the devil. Laughter flickers, hesitant but real. I want to walk away, let the venom drip harmlessly into the dirt, but the weight of every stare pins me. So I step forward, every movement deliberate, my voice like steel dragged across stone. You're awfully bold for someone hiding behind a borrowed dream. A murmur ripples. Kieran's smile sharpens. And you're awfully bitter for someone who keeps failing to prove he belongs here. He gestures at the board, my rank glinting lower than his. Numbers don't lie, do they? The words hit harder than they should. Because they're true. Elias chuckles softly, shaking his head as though I'm a stubborn child. Don't do this, he says, but his tone isn't protective. It's patronizing. He puts a hand on Kieran's shoulder, a silent declaration of where his loyalty lies. Kieran's right. You push too hard, and it only drags you down. You need to learn when to let go. Let go. The phrase sears into me, hotter than any insult. That was our phrase once, the reminder we whispered when the work grew unbearable. Don't let go. Now he's twisted it, sharpened it, pressed it against my throat in front of everyone. The crowd's laughter swells again, some turning away, others staring hungrily, waiting for me to shatter. But I don't. Not this time. I step close enough to feel their warmth, their smug certainty, and I let my voice drop to a whisper sharp enough for only them to hear. Enjoy this moment. It's the last one you'll ever get at my expense. Then I turn my back on both of them, forcing my legs to carry me past the whispers, past the sting of humiliation, past the echo of Elias's laughter that still claws at my chest. It hurts, gods, it burns, but beneath the ash, a new fire kindles. They want me broken. Instead, they've handed me the reason to rise. The city is quiet at night, the academy's towers reduced to silhouettes against a sky of restless stars. I lie on my bed, staring at the ceiling, the taste of humiliation still bitter on my tongue. My phone vibrates against the nightstand. The name on the screen makes my chest tighten. Elias. I should ignore it. Let the silence speak for me. But my thumb betrays me, swiping before I can think. You answered. His voice drifts through the line, softer than I remember, carrying a weight of feigned relief. I wasn't sure you would. I don't respond. The silence stretches, taut as wire. Finally, he sighs. Listen, about today. Kieran went too far. He doesn't understand you like I do. You know how he is. I almost laughed. Not because it's funny, but because the excuse is so threadbare. And you? I ask quietly. What's your excuse? There's a pause. For a moment, I imagine he might actually answer honestly. But no. The mask slides back on. I was trying to protect you, Elias says smoothly. You put yourself in the spotlight, and, you know how people can be. I stepped in before it got worse. Protect me? The words are a blade, twisted deep. I remember the smirk, his hand on Kieran's shoulder, the way he parroted the rival's insults like they were scripture. Protect me? No. He enjoyed it. You weren't protecting me, I say, each syllable a nail hammered into wood. You were protecting your image. Your alliance. Him. Silence. Then, softly, you're being unfair. The anger that's been simmering all day finally boils over. Unfair. Elias, I spent years carrying us. Every plan, every dream, we built them on my back. And the moment you found someone shinier, easier, you left me behind. And now you want me to follow your lead again? His voice hardens, just a trace. I didn't leave you behind. You're the one walking away. That stops me. For a heartbeat, I feel the old tether tugging at my chest, threatening to reel me back into orbit. But then I see it, the banquet, the courtyard, his laughter tangled with Kieran's, and the rope burns to ash. No, I whisper. I'm not walking away. I'm rising without you. Before he can reply, I end the call. The silence that follows is heavier than any noise, pressing into my ribs. But beneath it, I feel something shift. For the first time, the weight of Elias's voice no longer holds me down. Morning comes heavy, dragging sunlight through my blinds like knives of gold. My phone buzzes endlessly on the nightstand, a flood of notifications stacking like dominoes. Half awake, I reach for it. One glance at the screen freezes me. New post, Elias and Kieran. The picture glows on my feed, Elias and Kieran, shoulder to shoulder, their hands clasped in a staged handshake, smiles carved into victory masks. Behind them looms the Academy banner, bold letters proclaiming, "The new partnership, future of the Empire." The caption twists the knife deeper. We've found the perfect balance. Loyalty, vision, power. Together. My name isn't there. My place isn't there. The comments swarm beneath it like insects. Unstoppable duo. Finally, someone who can keep Elias on track. Kieran's influence shows already. This is history in the making. History. Written without me. My chest aches, but it's not a shock anymore. It's confirmation. Proof that every word Elias fed me last night was hollow. Protect me? No. He was already signing his soul away while my voice still echoed in his ear. A message pops up in the group chat. The same circle of so-called friends who watched yesterday's humiliation unfold. Congrats, Elias. You and Kieran are going to crush it this year. Can't wait to see what you two build. I stare at the screen until the words blur. The tether is gone. The ashes are cold. Then I hit the button. Leave group. A final buzz confirms it. Silence swallows the feed. For the first time in years, I'm free of Elias's shadow. No chains of shared dreams, no ghosts of promises whispered under starlight. Just me, my fire, and the promise I made to my father. If Elias has chosen his empire, then so will I. And mine will burn brighter. The train station smells of iron and rain. Steam hisses from the engines, curling like ghosts around the platforms, carrying whispers of departures and promises of arrivals. My bag is heavy on my shoulder, packed with nothing but what matters. Everything else, the old notes, the sketches, the plans Elias and I once scribbled into being, lies in a pile of ash in my dorm's trash bin. One last tie to cut. Elias is waiting. Of course he is. He leans against a column near the departure gate, arms folded, the same self-assured tilt to his body he's worn since we were children. But his eyes are different now, shadowed, searching. So it's true, he says as I approach. You're leaving. I keep walking until we're only a few feet apart. It was true the moment you chose him. His jaw tightens. You don't get it. Kieran and I, this partnership, it's an opportunity. For both of us. He takes a step closer, lowering his voice. If you just let go of this pride, you could still be part of it. With me. Like before. Like before. The words twist something inside me. For a heartbeat, I see us again, boys on the swings, eyes full of stars, promises etched into the night. But that was another life. And this one demands something more. I don't want to be like before, Elias. My voice is calm, colder than I expected. Before, I was living your dream. Now, I'm living mine. His eyes widen, as if the thought has never crossed his mind. He laughs once, sharp and bitter. So that's it. You'd rather walk away than stand beside me? No, I adjust the strap on my bag, stepping past him toward the train. I'd rather rise than kneel. The whistle screams, drowning the silence between us. For a second, I think he might follow, might grab my arm and drag me back into his orbit. But he doesn't move. He just stands there, framed by steam and shadow, watching as I step onto the train. As the doors slide shut, our eyes meet one last time. He is burning, desperate, confused. Mine are steady. The train lurches forward. The platform falls away. And with it, so does Elias. Ahead lies a new city, a new academy, a new life. For the first time, I'm not afraid of the unknown. For the first time, I'm free. The city rises before me like a steel forest, towers scraping the sky, their windows alive with light. The air hums with movement. Strangers rushing past, voices in a dozen languages colliding in the streets, neon signs flickering like restless stars. I step off the bus with my bag slung over my shoulder, the soles of my shoes pressing into unfamiliar pavement. For the first time in years, I feel invisible. Not a shadow tethered to Elias. Not a failure propped against Kieran's smirk. Just another face in a crowd that doesn't know my name. It's liberating. The new academy is nothing like the one I left. Its gates aren't gilded with arrogance, its halls don't echo with shallow laughter. Here, students carry notebooks filled with scribbles, sketches, calculations, music sheets, not status. The air hums with creation, not competition. I walk through the corridors, each wall plastered with projects and dreams in motion. My heart stirs. This is where I can begin again. Later, in my rented room, I sat by the window overlooking the city. I unlock my phone, habit, not desire. And the screen lights up with the usual feed. Elias and Kieran dominate it. Another photo, the two of them shaking hands with a sponsor, faces lit with ambition. Another caption, the future begins with us. Thousands of likes, comments drowning in praise. I scroll once, then stop. My reflection stares back at me in the dark glass, the city lights flickering across my features. For the first time, I don't feel the weight of their success pressing down on me. Let them have their stage. Mine is still being built. I flip my notebook open, pen scratching across the page as I map out ideas, plans, dreams. Not theirs. Mine. Each line feels like a brick, each word a cornerstone. Somewhere out there, Elias thinks he's won. He thinks I've faded, that the story no longer includes me. He's wrong. The villain doesn't fade. The villain rewrites the ending. Weeks slip by like pages torn from a book. In the new academy, I find a rhythm that feels almost foreign, mornings lost in study, afternoons spent sketching out plans with peers who see me, not my shadow. They don't know the history. They don't know Elias. And that anonymity is a kind of salvation. I'm sharper now. Lighter. Even my reflection looks different, less hollow, more defined, as though the city itself is sculpting me into something new. Until fate decides to remind me of the past. It happens at a symposium, a gathering where students from multiple academies showcase their visions. The hall buzzes with voices, booths lined with prototypes, charts, music echoing from one corner to the next. I'm speaking to a professor, outlining the rough edges of an idea that's been keeping me awake at night, when the air shifts. I don't need to turn to know why. Elias's laugh cuts through the crowd. I force myself to face it. There he is, standing tall at the far end of the hall, Kieran at his side as always. Their booth gleams, polished to perfection, surrounded by curious eyes and murmurs of admiration. Elias's smile hasn't changed, but there's a brittleness to it now, a shine too sharp to be real. And then he sees me. For a second, the mask slips. His lips part, surprise flickering across his face, followed by something harder to read, relief, guilt, fear. I don't give him the satisfaction of guessing. I turn back to the professor, finishing my explanation as if nothing has happened. My voice is steady, my gestures calm. Inside, my pulse is racing, but I don't let it bleed through. Elias approaches anyway. Of course he does. You're here, he says softly, as though it's some kind of miracle. His eyes scan me, searching for cracks. I am. My answer is clipped, cold, deliberate. I don't look at him, don't grant him the warmth he expects. Kieran lingers just behind him, his smirk faint but sharp, like a knife barely unsheathed. Elias tries again. I didn't think you'd come this far. I finally meet his gaze, but my expression doesn't shift. That's because you were too busy looking in the mirror to notice. The silence between us buzzes. Around us, people continue to move, chatter, laugh, oblivious to the storm brimming in this small circle. Elias swallows, and for the first time, he looks uncertain. I excuse myself, stepping past them without a second glance. Each step feels like breaking a chain. I don't stumble. I don't falter. For the first time, I can stand in front of him without the old gravity dragging me back. And that terrifies him more than any insult ever could. The rain comes down in sheets against the dormitory window, drumming steady as a heartbeat. I'm bent over my desk, notes spread out like a battlefield, deadlines, drafts, the bones of ideas I'm shaping into something real. My life feels heavier now, but in a way that strengthens me. Weight that builds muscle, not chains. A knock cuts through the storm. I open the door to find Elias. Soaked through, hair plastered to his forehead, his clothes clinging like a second skin. For once, he doesn't look polished, doesn't look untouchable. He looks human. Can we talk? His voice cracks on the last word. I step aside, though every instinct tells me not to. He enters, dripping rainwater onto the floor, eyes darting around the room as if cataloging my new life. I shouldn't even be here, he says, pacing. Kieran would. He cuts himself off, shaking his head. Forget him. This is about us. I lean against the desk, arms crossed. There is no us, Elias. Not anymore. He flinches, like I've struck him. Don't say that. You don't mean it. We've been through too much, you can't just erase it all. I study him. His desperation radiates like heat, but it feels foreign now, no longer magnetic. I'm not erasing anything, I reply. I'm learning from it. His breath hitches. I made a mistake. With Kieran, with how I treated you. But I can fix it. We can still build what we dreamed about. Together. The words together taste like ash in my mouth. You mean what you dreamed, I say quietly. I just followed. Elias's shoulders slump. He looks smaller somehow, like the rain has washed away the illusion he carried so easily before. For a flicker of a moment, I almost pity him. Almost. I have responsibilities now, I continued, my voice firm. Work. People who believe in me. I can't throw that away chasing a ghost of what we used to be. The silence between us is jagged. Finally, Elias nods once, slowly, as if the weight of my words is a blow he wasn't ready to take. He leaves without another word. The door closes behind him, and the storm swallows his footsteps. I return to my desk, my notes, my plans. My world. Outside, lightning splits the sky. Inside, for the first time, I feel untouchable. Days stretch into weeks, and Elias's shadow grows thinner. First, there are messages. Short, clipped things that sit unread in my inbox. We need to talk. I can explain, please. I don't respond. I don't even open them. Then the messages slow. A day passes without one. Then 3. Then a week. Eventually, my phone is quiet, save for the steady hum of new names, new opportunities, new voices filling the spaces Elias used to occupy. In the academy halls, I walk with people who know me for my work, not my past. When they call my name, it doesn't sound like an echo of something broken, it sounds like a beginning. One evening, I checked social media out of idle curiosity. Elias and Kieran still post, but it's different now. The gloss is cracking. The captions are longer, more defensive, as if they're trying to convince themselves that everything is perfect. The comments are fewer, the likes no longer endless. For the first time, I scroll without flinching. Their empire doesn't look so untouchable anymore. I close the app. Instead, I step outside into the courtyard. The night air is cool, the sky painted with stars that look close enough to touch. My classmates laugh nearby, voices warm and alive, and for once, I don't feel like an outsider circling the edges. I'm part of something now. Something of mine. Elias is fading, like a dream you half remember in the morning, sharp at first and then nothing but smoke. And I don't chase him. I let him go. The world doesn't pause for heartbreak. It keeps turning, pulling me forward whether I'm ready or not. And somewhere along that turn, Anna appears. She's not like Elias. Not like Kieran. Her presence isn't loud or demanding, it's steady, magnetic in a quiet way. Where Elias once sought to dazzle, Anna listens. Where Kieran sharpens every word into a blade, Anna shapes hers into bridges. We meet over blueprints sprawled across a table at the Academy's Innovation Lab. My sketches are messy, ideas half-born, but she studies them with an intensity that makes me feel seen, truly seen, for the first time in years. You've got vision, she says, tucking a stray strand of hair behind her ear. But you're holding back, afraid of your own brilliance. Her words land like a challenge. And for once, I don't shrink from it. We begin working together. Nights blur into dawns, the glow of monitors casting halos around our exhaustion. But it doesn't feel heavy. With her, the weight shifts. Becomes shared. Her laughter cuts through the fatigue, her sharp insight stitching my ideas into something sharper, stronger. Together, we're building more than a project. We're building momentum. Then, just as the future begins to solidify, the past claws its way back. Elias appears again. Not in person this time, but on every screen I own. A post, longer than any he's ever written. A confession, an apology, a plea disguised as a manifesto. We were meant to build greatness together, it reads. But I was blinded. Betrayed by my own pride. If you're reading this, you know who you are. It's not too late. Come back. Come home. Anna finds me staring at the screen, my expression unreadable. Do you want to answer? She asks softly. I shake my head. The decision feels easier than I expected. No. That home doesn't exist anymore. She studies me, her eyes steady, unwavering. Then let's build a new one. And in that moment, with Anna beside me, the path ahead no longer feels like running from something. It feels like running toward it. Toward a future that is mine. The night is clear, the storm long gone. Above me, the stars burn sharp and endless, scattered across the sky like shattered glass remade into something beautiful. I sit on the rooftop of the academy, Anna's voice still echoing from earlier meetings, her laughter lingering in the corners of my mind. She's gone for the night, but the momentum remains, humming inside me like a second heartbeat. My phone buzzes once. A notification. Elias again. He hasn't stopped trying, not fully. His messages now are quieter, less commanding, more like whispers clawing at a locked door. Tonight it's only 2 words, still here. For a moment, I just watched the screen glow in my hand. Once, those words would have meant comfort, loyalty, home. Now, they sound like chains. I press the power button. The screen goes dark. The stars are brighter without it. I think back to the years Elias and I spent chasing the same dream, the laughter, the promises under midnight skies. Those memories still ache, but they no longer hold me. They're chapters in a book I've already closed. Because the truth is, I was never meant to be a shadow trailing behind someone else's light. I was meant to burn on my own. Anna was right, I had been holding back. Out of fear. Out of loyalty. Out of love that was never returned. But not anymore. I rise to my feet, spreading my arms wide to the night as if I can embrace it. The sky feels endless, but for the first time, it doesn't scare me. It invites me. Elias will linger, perhaps forever, a ghost pacing outside the empire I'll build. But I won't open the gates for him again. The future belongs to me. And as the stars blaze above, I know, so does the sky.